I had more things on my mind. So let's talk about it. Have you heard the quote, where attention goes, energy flows? That is absolutely accurate. And that is why your attention is your most valuable currency, your most valuable commodity. Think about it. Why do we, when we go to work, they pay us for our attention, you know? Our attention is being funneled into tasks that help us build up another person's dream. You know what I mean? So it's just like knowing this, knowing that your attention is your most valuable currency. Like a bank account, it's very, I want to say, important to know how to invest your attention. You know, I think currently society has been set up in such a way that your attention is being funneled into everything and everyone else but yourself. And that's why I think it is the most radical move to make currently, by like turning your attention back to yourself, giving it to yourself, because you are your most important investment, you know? And what do I mean by that, Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I got into the world, yes, like, your attention is going, like, for instance, when you get in your car, you're being attentive to, like, your surroundings, the people, the roadway, the stoplights, the notifications, you know what I mean? Your attention is being totally fragmented everywhere. That's why I prefer staying at home. I think that's why. It's just like when you go out of the house, out of your sanctuary, I feel like your home should be your sanctuary, and if it's not, then a change is probably necessary, guys, because you deserve to come home to sanctuary. And if you can't create a space for yourself, then this is your sanctuary. You should always be able to come home to a sanctuary that is peaceful, you know? And that's why you're the most important investment, you know? Am I making sense? You know? And that's why, like, in a lot of my videos, I try to, like, remind people, like, to be aware of, like, what you're telling yourself, because your thoughts are creating that internal atmosphere that you call home, you know? Like, how you perceive things, just taking stock of, like, yeah, like internal dialogue, um, the thoughts that are circulating in your mind, and the amount of attention that you give to certain thoughts and inner dialogue, you know? Because again, where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're constantly being, I want to say, mean to yourself, instead of being kind, then your attention is going to that, and you will probably experience life on that level, or in that tone and that degree. So be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself everything that you've been trying to give everyone else. You know what I'm saying? And I think the reason why we spent most of our lives trying to give everyone else that love, that care, that generosity, that patience, the understanding, the tolerance, is because we needed to learn to give it back to ourselves. You know, we were, I want to say, omitting ourselves from the equation for most of our lives, and now it's time to realize that, dude, you're like the most important part of the equation, and out of everyone, you deserve everything you've been trying to give out. So bring the attention back, you know, and be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace, you know. As usual, it all starts with you. So once you get really balanced and clear within yourself, you know, and once you're giving yourself the love and the care and the kindness and the patience and the tolerance and the grace and the forgiveness, it's very easy to go out and your cup is overflowing. It's easy to give it out to the people you encounter, the situations you encounter. You'll be more adaptable, you'll be more understanding, you'll know your limits, your boundaries, and you know, you'll stop tolerating nonsense, you know? Um, Also, when you give your attention back to yourself, that's when you start, again, being more aware of what you want and what you don't want, and then taking necessary action to discard or invest in particular things that will create, I want to say, a reality that you enjoy existing in. Like, period. Like, the most common thing I think people are doing to themselves, the most common I've noticed, is living in lack mentality. You know, what is lack mentality? Lack mentality is thinking that you don't have enough, you know? And that's why you're always going out in the world and chasing and trying and doing, you know, whether that be like, I don't know, you feel like you lack monetary funds or you lack acceptance or friends in a social group. You know what I mean? It all comes from lack mentality. I feel like the most like prevalent thing though is definitely monetary based. You know, like people just are living in a poverty mindset. You know, they think they don't have enough and then they're living paycheck to paycheck and then they're like, you know, overspending on things they don't really need, you know, in order to like cope and regulate their nervous system. So it's all like, you see where I'm going? It's a really unhealthy, toxic, imbalanced, codependent relationship with like material things and how to access more material things instead of just being okay with what you have now. Instead of realizing that you really don't need to like buy a bunch of unnecessary things to regulate your nervous system because you can do it yourself. You know what I mean? It's like you stop becoming so codependent on external things so that you can regulate and ground and realign yourself. You become a very, I want to say, oh gosh, what's that word? Oh, I always have moments like that where it's just like I can't, there's like a thought I want to express, and then the word just is absent from my mind in that moment. Oh my goodness. You become a sovereign being. A sovereign being. You know, you're interdependent. It's like you can handle your own shit, and but you can also like go out in the world and relate and collaborate with people in very healthy ways. You know, you're not dismissive, you're not and you're also not tolerant of like fucking shitty behavior. You know, period. It's like if you're gonna act shitty and give me some tomfoolery and do be a clown with a crown, I just have no time for you. My attention will be immediately retracted and I will go on my way and on my business doing things that make me happy. That's the thing, dude. Do more things that bring you peace. Do more things that make you happy. Do more things that make life fun. I swear to God, if you do that, major life shifts. You know, replace fear and worry with fun. Replace overthinking with mindfulness. And when I say mindfulness, just being very hyper aware and present in the moment, very mindful, you know, not like mindful, like full of like unnecessary thoughts that just drive me crazy. Like just be mindful, you know. I am very mindful in a mindless way. The INFJ paradox. I love that. You know when I first found out I fell into the categorization of being an INFJ, um, dude, I fucking hated it. Like, I don't know how you guys felt, but I was like, man, this is like a curse. You being a freaking INFJ, being an empath, oh my god, a fucking curse. But then once you learn how to utilize your skill sets and tools to bring balance into your life, you'll realize, you'll look back and be like thankful. And like, all the trials and tribulations I went through were absolutely necessary so that I could hone in on refining my abilities to like use my abilities in a way that is helpful versus harmful. You know? You get what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Sometimes I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah, because like, you know, before, we didn't have a manual. So we kind of had to discover how to hone in on and fine tune our skill sets. And in that process, you're very, I want to say, confused. And you're also perceiving things in a way that is really painful and really uncomfortable, you know? But then once you get through it, it's kind of like, whoa, now I know why. you know? It's like, oh, I am able to feel other people's emotions without getting enmeshed, you know? And that way I can understand, empathize, be compassionate and understanding. But then I also know how to implement boundaries, so I know what I will and will not tolerate, and I can also like differentiate whose energy is whose, and I am absolutely not responsible for someone else's energy. They are, you know, because we've been taking responsibility for our energy our whole freaking lives, playing small, like not trying to hurt anyone. No, it's just like, no, okay. Now I know that I am definitely not the problem because I have been putting in the necessary work to learn and discern and become who I really am, you know? And when you stand in that stance, when you go out in the world and you interact with people, um, I want to say, like, you become like a master at like relational things, like you understand how things relate to each other, including yourself, and then you can kind of like use the skill sets that you have to navigate in a way that flows effortlessly, you know? Yeah, just replace like for instance, I don't know, I already said some stuff, but like replace fear and worry with like fun and trusting the process, replace the lack mentality with, again, like releasing fear and worry. It's like, I have everything I need. I trust the process. I am truly grateful for everything I have. In fact, I have so much that I'm able to give, you know? Give in a way that's not detrimental to me, though. I don't know. I think, am I making sense? Thank you. I feel like you get it. I feel like I don't really have to like fully break it down. It's a knowing, it's an inner knowing, it's a feeling, it's the ability to read the vibe. It's the ability to read energy, you know? And I mean energy in yourself, energy in another person, in an animal, in a plant, in the environment. You can read the energy, and then you can adjust and shift and move and discard and invest in a way that is beneficial, to yourself and others. And then you can also be aware of like the manipulations that go on in the world, and then you can choose not to be manipulated. You're so amazing. You're so powerful. You need to know that. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a nap. and then I'm going to go out and do stuff. I hope you are having a beautiful day and take good care of yourself. Amen.